October 19, 11:15 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Court is back in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution has a concern. As our witness is a grade schooler of tender years, and this is a murder case, we worry that the defense might cause unnecessary trauma with his cruel questioning. Nice to see Edward taking the moral high ground. However, we have no choice. The prosecution calls Cody Hackins to the stand. Your Honor, perhaps you could arrange a box for him to stand on. Oh, right. Guard, please bring him a box. One of those donut crates should do. Will the witness state his name and grade in school? Witness. What? Just because you're all grown up doesn't mean you can push me around. Cody? Answer his question, okay? Hey, it's you, the nice lady. I'm Cody Hackins. I'm in 2nd grade. I get the feeling this is going to be a long, long day. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember that you're speaking to a child. Try to be gentle. Witness, Cody. He's having trouble with this gentle thing. You were present. You were at Global Studios on the day of the incident. You got a problem with that? Please tell us what you saw that day. What, Pops? You want me to tell you and Gramps with the beard over there? Just... Mr. Edward will be fine. I prefer a bearded gentleman myself. A very long day. Incidentally, photographic equipment is strictly forbidden in this courtroom. My apologies, Your Honor. He said he wouldn't testify if he couldn't bring it. I'd like special permission if that's possible. Wait, so you're saying you had to bargain terms with a kid and you lost? Hey, I just got this new camera. Don't really know how to use it all that good yet. But I bring it with me wherever I go. Phoenix. I wonder if he had that camera on the day of the murder. You better make a note of it in the court record. Cody's camera added to the court record. A new digital camera. Cody always carries it, though he's still learning how to use it. Very well, Cody. Please testify to the court about what you saw the day of the incident. I wanted to see a Steel Samurai rehearsal just once. I found a map on the internet and I went to the studios that day. I went through the woods off the path so that old lady wouldn't catch me. I was going for the studio. I got kinda lost on the way there for about 30 minutes. When I came out by the studio, there was the Steel Samurai. It totally rocked. Right before my eyes, out came the bad guy. Of course, the Steel Samurai took him down. Pow! If I had my camera with me, that would have been the time for a shot, I tell you. You don't always have it with you? Anyway, I couldn't get into the studio, so I went home. Yes. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Be gentle. Remember, you're talking to a child. This kid is tougher than most adults we see in here, honestly. Okay, so first off, you've already told us that you always have it with you. But if I had my camera, why didn't you have your camera? Explain. Cody, what you just said seems, well, a little strange. Didn't you say before that you always bring your digital camera wherever you go? You're quite clear about that. Huh? Cody, you shouldn't lie here. You understand that, right? Mr. Wright, a word with you. Uh-oh, was I putting the pressure on too much? Oh, what is this digital camera contraption you're talking about? It's, a digital camera, Your Honor. It's kind of a new sort of camera. How do I explain that? Let's see... Anyway, Cody, I can't believe you wouldn't bring your camera on a trip to the studios. You did bring it, didn't you? Mr. Wright, how cruel you are to terrorize a poor child so. I don't care if he's a child or a prosecuting attorney. No one should lie in court. What do you mean, or a prosecuting attorney? Well, Cody? What? Yeah, so I had my camera. So what? You got a problem with that? So, you did have a camera. And did you use this camera? Why would I use it? I was too busy watching. Very well. Please testify to the court about what you were so busy watching. So. Yeah, I had my camera with me. But I was glued to the action. I couldn't take my eyes off it. The Steel Samurai, he goes for the bad guy. Wham! Then the bad guy stopped moving. He's so strong, the Steel Samurai rules. Is that all? Well, that was brief. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Alright, so... He had his camera. He's told us before that he takes pictures of every one of the Steel Samurai's victories. I wonder if he took a picture. I mean, stopped moving. What a weird way to put it. Why? Eh? What do you mean, why? Why wasn't the bad guy moving? Well, because the Steel Samurai brought him to justice. And how exactly did he do that? How did he do it? With his samurai kick, and a samurai punch, samurai chop, samurai slap, something like that. He's still being vague about this. That's actually a very specific series of actions. What? Don't give me that look, Pops. How should I play this? Listen harder. Harder. Cody. What? Something's bothering me. Before, you said that you couldn't take your eyes off the action. Yeah, so what? That you missed the most important part. Objection! What is the meaning of this? The witness has stated what he saw quite clearly. Objection! You know as well as I do that he's being vague. Tell me, what kind of murderer uses a samurai slap? My point is this. Cody, you may have seen some of the Steel Samurai's fight. But you missed the most important part, the killing blow. Order, order. Mr. Wright, how could this be? Can you explain how he might have missed something so vital? Yes, he doesn't know how to use his camera. And he tries to take pictures of all of the... here's the thing. Phoenix, I believe you're on the right track with this. Think, why didn't Cody see the climax of the fight? I know you can figure this out. Mr. Wright, your answer? We've ascertained that this young boy is a great fan of the Steel Samurai. Why wouldn't he watch the climax of the fight? He was... Show evidence. Your Honor, I have evidence. Evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Why did Cody look away from the fight? He's still learning how to use his camera. Which one do you want me to show? This? This more... I'm gonna show this one. Here's my proof. Proof? Okay, not this one. Can I do that again? This doesn't prove anything. Lost your nerve, have you? Very well, I'll ask the question again. We've ascertained that this young boy is a great fan of the Steel Samurai. Why wouldn't he watch the climax of the fight? Show the evidence of... Okay. Because he doesn't know how to use his camera. Here's my proof. What's that? The camera? The witness stated that he recently received this camera. Yes, I'm aware of that. He wasn't entirely familiar with its operation. I'm aware of that too. Ah. Correct. Why would Cody be looking somewhere else at the critical moment? Because he was looking at his camera. He was trying to take a picture. Hey. Bullseye. What's your problem, Pops? You got a thing for picking on little kids? Pressing, not picking. Good job, Phoenix. Cody was lying, clearly. Smart of you to realize there was no way he could just stand there, watching his hero, and not take a picture. Right. Cody? There was only one reason why you would have looked away from the fight, and that was because you wanted to take a picture. But having just received your camera, you weren't used to using it yet. So, you missed the climax of the fight, correct? Yeah. Well, Phoenix, I'll bet you anything he's hiding more than that. Have him testify again. Right. Mia means business. Your Honor, the defense would like to request that Cody Hackins testify once more. Oh. Very well. Cody, could you please tell us about your camera, and about why you didn't take a picture of the fight? Welcome to the real world, kid. No photo. Yeah, you're right, Pops. The Steel Samurai had just escaped from the clutches of the villain. So I held up my camera to take a picture. But the lens wouldn't open in time, so I missed it. That's all that happened, yep. It wouldn't open in time? Does that mean that you got a picture, but it got it late? Anything strange in that testimony, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure. But I'd like to proceed with the cross-examination anyway. Okay. You're right, Pops. Thank you. Alright. Steel Samurai had just... What do you mean just escaped from the clutches of the villain? Tell me about that. Well, you did see the beginning of the fight. Yeah. Did you notice anything unusual? Well, I guess the Steel Samurai was moving a little strange. Moving strangely? Put my camera to take a picture. But the lens wouldn't open in time, so you missed it. Tell me. When the lens opened, what did you see? Well, the person on the ground, and the Steel Samurai. But this was outside of Studio One. They're not in the Studio One where it's supposed to happen. Wait, no, Okay, we already saw that. That's all that happened. Really? Tell me about this. Why couldn't you take a picture? The new camera has too many buttons, I couldn't figure it out. I tried to take a picture, I really tried. Wow. Alright, Hold on. Is it really all that happened? Yup. That's all. Yeah, I told you I didn't take a picture. I would have once I got that lens open. Did he really not take a picture? Not even one? Hold on. Yeah, I said. Nah, he definitely would have taken a picture. There's got to be something here I can use, yes. Cody. Listen up, Cody Hackins. I know exactly what happened that day. You took a picture. Hey. Bullseye? How did you know? Because you gave it to me, I think. I see through all your lies, Cody Hackins. It's one of my powers. Wow. This feels great. Yeah, I took a picture. Perhaps you can change your testimony to reflect this, Cody? I took a few shots, but it was too late, so I erased them. Erased them? What do you mean you erased them? You did not. You erased them? Yeah. Why would you erase a picture of your beloved Steel Samurai victorious? Well, you know, why would I want to keep a picture like that? I know why. It's becoming less and less cooperative. I'd better find a clear contradiction soon, or some solid evidence. How can I pick holes in such a short testimony? There has to be something. Pick up the dirt, Phoenix. Find out what this kid's all about. Okay, so I think here's where we show him the book. You didn't erase them. You keep a book of these things. Every victory scene. In every battle. Cody. What? Man, every time you say Cody, you better do something bad. I just wanted to thank you for giving me this the other day. Huh? Oh, right. What was it you told me then? Every live performance. I always take a picture when the Steel Samurai lands the final blow. Whazam! I got them all. I never missed one. A perfect collection. Cody, did you really get a picture of the Steel Samurai standing victorious over his foe? If you did, I find it hard to believe that you would just erase it. Wouldn't you keep it for your album? Mr. Wright, what exactly is this album? It's called Path to Glory. It's a collection of pictures of the Steel Samurai, all taken by Cody Hackins. It claims it's a perfect collection of every battle the Steel Samurai has won. I see. Don't you find this very odd, Your Honor? Among all his pictures of the Steel Samurai, none were taken that day. I wonder if there's just one sitting in the back of the book already. Order! Mr. Wright, have you an explanation? If the Steel Samurai had just defeated his adversary, I certainly would expect to see a picture of it in this album. Exactly my point, Your Honor. No, wait, no way. Phoenix? I think we finally discovered the truth. And what a truth it is. Mia, are we sure about this? Did he actually? Yes. Pretty sure what you're thinking is right. Tell them, Phoenix. Tell them what the truth is. Mr. Wright, please explain to the court what is going on here. Why was there no picture in the album from the day of the murder? Why would the boy have erased the photos he took? The Steel photo... the Steel Samurai didn't win. Moderately sure. the only thing that makes sense. I can think of only one reason, Your Honor. The Steel Samurai didn't win. That's why Cody deleted those photos. You mean the Steel Samurai lost? Well, Cody, I'm right, aren't I? Tell the truth, the bad guy defeated the Steel Samurai. No way, no! It's impossible. The Steel Samurai never loses. He never loses to anyone, ever! Your Honor, the witness has revealed everything with his words. There was a reason why he lied and told us he didn't take a picture. The same reason he erased his precious photos. For Cody, it was inconceivable that the Steel Samurai could be defeated. However, Cody witnessed the impossible. He saw the Steel Samurai lose. Yet to admit that what he saw would destroy everything he believed in. That's why he lied and said the Steel Samurai won. He couldn't handle the truth. Order! I will have order. Witness, Cody, is this true? What did you see? Tell the court what you saw. No. Cody, that day you saw the Steel Samurai lose a fight, right? Okay. You're right. The Steel Samurai fell down. Then he didn't move. Order. What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? The Steel Samurai was the murderer, not the victim. Yet according to your witness testimony, the Steel Samurai was the one who fell. Mr. Wright, what's going on? Apparently, we have all made a serious error. An error? What's all this about? Okay, so... Hammer's not the victim... Wait, Hammer. Hammer was the ordinary victim. Okay, the Steel Samurai... Back. Okay, so I think the Hammer was maybe the Steel Samurai, and people switched him out. I don't remember. Who remembers anything? Steel Samurai was a victim. Yes. If you understand what really happened, it's actually quite simple. At the end of the fight, the Steel Samurai fell to the ground and lay still. In other words, the Steel Samurai was not the killer, he was the victim. Don't you see? Jack Hammer was the Steel Samurai. Order! So, the Steel Samurai in this photograph, you're saying the man in this costume was the victim, Mr. Jack Hammer? That's what I'm saying, Your Honor. Jack Hammer was present at the action scene run-through that morning. Plus, he obviously knew about Will Power's foot injury. But wait! Hadn't Mr. Hammer gone to Studio 1 already? That's what everyone thought. But remember what Ms. Oldbag said in her testimony? On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Mr. Jack Hammer left the employee area after lunch. However, no one saw him going to Studio 1. Nor was there a picture of him. He waited for Mr. Powers to take a nap in his dressing room. Then he snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. But why would the victim do such a thing? I don't know. I get it. They thought that the Steel Samurai was moving strange. So it was a different person inside the suit. Pops! Me? What? Actually, there was one piece of data I saved. Data? Yeah, a photo on my digital camera. What? Show us, quick. You'll be mad not if you begin looking at me like that. Now. Here, this is it. Yeah, see the problem. That's Studio 2. He's not Studio 1. Well, looking at this, it's still a little hard to say. I'm afraid that it could be anyone in that costume. Your opinion, Mr. Wright? I agree, Your Honor. This isn't decisive evidence. I'm sorry, this doesn't look like it's the proof we need. I'll give it back. Wait, Phoenix. Mia? What? Look at that photo once more. That's it, Phoenix. That photo is all the evidence you need to win this trial. What? Your Honor, may I see that photo once more, please? Certainly. Don't see why not. Phoenix, show him. There's a glaring, decisive inconsistency with the facts as we know them in that photo. Find the inconsistency in the photo. Yeah, easy. Hey! As long as Mike doesn't run away with me. 2. Take that! Your Honor, look at this! I see a gate. Might I draw your attention to the number on that gate? The number? Yes, well, it's hard to see, but it looks like a 2. Clearly not a 1, Your Honor, correct? I believe Mr. Edgeworth sees what I'm getting at. But that's impossible. Huh? What's this all about? Please explain so that I might be shocked along with the rest of the court. I'll use the studio guide map. The body was found here in Studio 1. However, what do we see in this photo taken at the time of the murder? It does not say 1 on that gate in the photo. Your Honor, here is the true scene of the crime. Show the judge where the murder took place. Drifted. There we go. Studio 2! Take that! Here at Studio 2. See, that would explain the 2 on the gate in the photo. Your Honor, I find it very significant that the murder took place in Studio 2, as the path was blocked. The path to the trailer was blocked. So we have heard. The path was blocked at 2:15. In other words, the victim went to Studio 2 before that time. Yes, I suppose that would be the case. Remember Mr. Salmonella's testimony? Allow me to remind the court. He said no one in the trailer was guilty because they could not have gone to Studio 1. Yet in actuality the reverse was true. Only someone in the trailer could have committed this murder. They were the only ones with access to the scene of the crime, Studio 2. As you may recall, there was a trailer in Studio 2. Now, on that day, a meeting was held in that very trailer. There was a break in the meeting corresponding to the time of death. During that break, Mr. Salmonella and Ms. D. Vasquez were outside eating steak. They were at the scene of the crime. Order. The defense makes the following claims. The scene of the crime was Studio 2. The person that the security guard Ms. Oldbag saw was the victim, Mr. Jack Hammer. Mr. Hammer, for some reason, stole a steel samurai costume. Then he went to Studio 2. This is madness. Jack Hammer is the victim. Why would he steal a steel samurai costume? Are you suggesting he did so to cover up the details of his own murder? Well, no, of course not. Or do you have proof? Give me proof that the victim, Jack Hammer, stole the costume. This is where the sleeping pills come in? I have proof. Do I? You do? You do, Mr. Wright? Now that they're so surprised, suddenly I'm much less confident. I think I'm right, though. Here's my proof that Jack Hammer stole the costume. Maybe? This is it. An empty medicine bottle? I found this on the table in the employee area. The same table where Mr. Hammer and Mr. Powers ate. That label reads sleeping pills. Sleeping pills? The defendant, Mr. Powers, spent that entire afternoon sleeping. He was drugged by Mr. Hammer. Wait a moment. That bottle does raise some suspicions, yes, but there is no proof that Mr. Hammer used it. Your Honor, I have an idea. Sure, fingerprint the bottle. An idea? Very well, let's hear it. I want to check this bottle for fingerprints. If my claim is true, Mr. Hammer's fingerprints should show up on this bottle. I suppose you're right. Very well, the court will take possession of the bottle. The bottle given to the judge. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Cody Hacken's testimony has revealed new possibilities in this case. In fact, things may have happened very differently than we previously thought. The steel samurai seen by Miss Oldbag may have been the victim, Jack Hammer. The scene of the crime was not Studio 1, but Studio 2. And those in the trailer did have time to commit murder. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Your homework is to find the answer to the following question. Why would Mr. Hammer steal the steel samurai costume? Also, who killed him and why? Find the answers for me by tomorrow. That's a lot of homework. Mr. Edgeworth? You will need to reconsider your stance in this case. Above all, you will need to reconsider your suspicion of Mr. Will Powers. As you say, Your Honor, this trial will be extended until tomorrow. This is the last extension. Very well. Court is adjourned. October 19, 2:47 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, Number 1. That was a close one. You were saved by a hair, but that's all that counts. I thought seriously about going home about 3 times during the trial. Me too! Really? You both seem so confident. Huh. Maybe I should take up a career in acting. I was ready to pronounce you dead about 3 times back there. Me too. Dad? Oh, of course, we're kidding. Are you sure? I wasn't kidding. Now, Mr. Powers, we have to go make our final investigation. But I promise you we'll find the true killer by tomorrow's trial. Right, thanks. Oof. Right. We save, and that is about the end of the time that we have for today. Oof. Alright. Oh, thank you all for spending time with me today. We will be back on Thursday with Disgaea, and more Phoenix Wright on Monday. Y'all have a great day out there.